Misa propose. We give dictatorship to my good friend, Sheev Palpatine.
My good friend and yours, Sheev Palpatine.
The Phantom Menace himself, Sheev Palpatine. Hey guys, it's Do We Like Star Wars, a sibling look at a franchise that we can't stop talking about.
Despite our reservations.
Mostly negatively.
But somewhat positively.
I would say we're more negative than positive, but we're so obsessed with it that there must be something there.
There's something to hold on to. I would not care as much if there wasn't something in here.
Yeah.
To fight for.
Today we're talking about the Jedi who, from my perspective, are evil.
I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil!
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
So, today we're going to be presenting a case against the Jedi.
This isn't necessarily a discussion where we're like, how do we feel? Because I am going into this red hot, ready to dismantle the Jedi Order.
You're presenting like a legal battle. I'm presenting like a literary critique. I'm going to end up screaming.
Me too. I have a lot of moral hesitations towards the Jedi.
I just...
as a religion.
But without getting too much into it, I just like...
Oh, you don't want to get into it? Should we...
No,
should
not...
we cut off this? Should we stop podcasting? Should we not get into it today?
Not right now, but... I just... The only reading of Star Wars that makes any sense to me is that the Jedi are evil. They're awful. I think Star Wars is a really coherent story if you view it as like Yoda is a deluded old man who's wrong about everything.
It's a very like important story to tell where just blatantly the religious leaders are wrong. They are self-centered and they've been led astray by their own moral deficiencies.
I think it's supposed to be presented as like the prequels show some of the trappings that the Jedi fall into, but then they fix themselves in the original trilogy. But that doesn't happen. The only reason Luke triumphs is because he says, screw the Jedi, I'm just going to go do what I think is right.
Yeah, that's why he triumphs in episode 6.
Yoda's a freaking stumbling block. And he's still crazy in episode 8. He's insane. He's contradicting himself.
Well, so like... Luke, who is learning what the Jedi are, and Luke, who is the ultimate optimist, he goes throughout episode 6, like, questioning himself, questioning everything, questioning his dad, I guess, and then he comes out of it like, I am what I believe the Jedi are. I am all the best of the Jedi, and you can be too, if you work together. Like, that is great. He is shedding everything negative about the Jedi. And then episode 7, 8, it's like very interesting that when he tried to redo the Jedi the old ways, it fucked up again. He failed again. Because the Jedi consistently are awful because it's an awful order.
That's an interesting read. So you're saying the whole Knights of Ren thing went south because Luke started to get more of the old principles into it instead of his bright-eyed optimism?
Yes. Just his nature, his good nature, his good-hearted, selfless nature, like a 1 in a million nature.
Right.
Because Force sensitivity is not necessarily rare. There's a lot of Force-sensitive children out in the galaxy that they just straight up kidnap, and we'll get to that. But, like, true goodness, that is 1 in a million. True selflessness, that's so rare. Even in the Jedi we do know, they're very selfish.
Right, and the morality of the original trilogies, which is the trilogy in which a Jedi Knight is victorious.
Yeah.
the only case on record of a Jedi ever doing anything right.
Who, Obi-Wan?
Luke!
Oh. Sorry, did you say the original trilogy?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry.
The only time a Jedi has ever done anything right
was when he's not entirely indoctrinated into this fucking order. Because he doesn't know the old ways. He doesn't have sacred Jedi texts until after episode 6.
Right. So the morality of the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, is that, as Carrie Fisher says,
it's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
It really is.
really is.
Luke's like, screw this weird religion. You know, he's like, I just love my dad and my sister, and I want my dad to be okay.
He's like, I see that there's something in my dad that I can save. And fuck no are you gonna touch my sister at all, you sloppy bitch. You crusty, dusty old man. You're not gonna touch my sister. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a very good scene in episode 6 where, probably the best scene, where he's fighting Vader in front of Palpatine. And Vader is like, there's another. You have a sister? And up until this point, Luke is not fighting him. He's trying to get his dad off the ledge. He's trying to get him to the right side of the Force. He's like, I won't fight you. I won't fight. And then he mentions, like, he mentions the idea, even the simple notion of corrupting Leia to the dark side. And Luke will not have it.
He goes nuts.
He goes ballistic and starts, like, slashing. And that's awesome. Like, that is so love-driven, you know?
We like that in a hero.
We love a hero. That is loving. That is
I guess,
family. That is passion.
I guess what I'm getting at is, like, that's a hero. Jedi are not heroes.
They're not.
They're just monks. Like, heroes can't be detached to everything, except the Republic. The Jedi are right to say, don't give in to your anger.
Yes.
But it's not that Luke has no emotions. It's just he doesn't give in to one specific emotion, anger. And even then, it's like he displays anger when appropriate. You know, it's
Yes.
like when someone talks about corrupting your sister, you should get angry.
That's not cool.
As a creature, you know, I say that because they're aliens and not all human.
As a living being.
As an intelligent creature, you have to feel something in order to fight someone.
Yeah.
You can't fight from a point of detachment.
Yeah. Can I read you the Jedi code?
Oh, please do. So this is getting into the whole Jedi is my religion.
Yes.
Let's transfer into that. I think we've made our point that
That the Jedi are bad.
the point of that last tangent was Luke is a hero because he's not a Jedi.
Yes. Like, he took what was good of the Jedi and what was good in himself and created a new thing. Like, the warrior he became was stronger than any Jedi in the past because he was himself.
We really need to talk about people who say Jedi is my religion. That's a
is the
very
worst
common
thing.
thing. I think there's some stat where it's like 7% of Australia is Jedi.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
Something crazy like that.
I'll pull up some stats while you read the Jedi code.
So if you were a Jedi, if Jedi was your religion, you would believe that there is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance.
There is no emotion. Not there ought be no emotion. There is no emotion.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Just like, I'll remember that.
Go off, I guess.
There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. Which, this is a pretty crazy code. That's awesome for like a religious code in fiction. Like, that's a crazy fiction. Like, that's I don't know. That's an awesome belief system. I don't know. That's a crazy. I don't know. It's just. I'm losing my mind thinking about how cool this is, and this is great writing. Like, as a story, this is a great story to have. But this is not something that a hero could believe in. You know, this is not. How do I put this? This is batshit crazy. You know, and
so what's weird to me is there's a lot of statement of there is no ignorance. Isn't the point that you're ignorant and you need to seek knowledge? Or are they saying, like, ignorance is an illusion, you've always known things and you have to remember that you know? I don't, you know what I mean? Like, are they saying all the bad things are illusions, and if you see the truth, you'll see that everything is good?
I don't know.
It's weird.
That's quite a take on it.
Or is that just what you say once you're enlightened?
Like, once you reach peace, you will have no emotion.
Yeah.
You know, once you have knowledge, you cannot be ignorant. Which is a bit, like, high and mighty. It's a bit dangerous. And a bit, I mean a lot, because if you think you are the smartest, if you think you're the most peaceful, that's like, oh, so you're always right, and nothing you do could ever be wrong. Which is a big fault of the Jedi. They always thought they were right.
That's an enormous fault of them.
Yeah, like, when shit was blowing up on other planets, when, like, wars were starting and people were dying, they were like, yes. As it should be.
I'm going to put a pin in this.
Sure.
You need to talk about the process of creating clones. That's all the Jedi.
That was all that. Okay, well, okay.
They utilized it. It was already happening. We could put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Just Jedi and clones.
Yeah.
No, but you look at things that a religion should offer, and it's something to the effect of a moral code encouraging you to help people. An
or
afterlife.
a moral code that gets you through your life, even more general sense.
Yeah.
The thing about the Jedi is, like, it is explicitly a religion revolving around others, how you interact with others, how you interact with your powers to blank, to do this, then that. Like, it's such a active religion.
Right, because that's the thing.
It's so external.
You can go for detached enlightenment and forsake the world. But the thing is, the Jedi are a very practical governmental entity.
They're literally the government.
My main critique of the Jedi as a cultural thing is that...
Let's talk about it as a cultural thing.
They-
Because I got some words.
Well, I mean, in the movies, they're trying to wear too many hats.
Yes.
So you have a Jedi.
Uh-huh.
They're sometimes called Jedi Knight. Like, Jedi Knight is the full term.
Yes, Jedi Knight is the full term for, like, that rank.
Like, Yoda is a Jedi Knight.
No.
Oh. Oh, Yoda's Jedi Master. Knight is below Master?
Yes.
Okay.
What happened to my laptop? Hold on a second. No. Oh, God. It's breaking down.
But it's like, what is a Jedi? You'll probably say warrior. Like,
Yes.
a Jedi is like a swordsman, like a samurai.
Mm-hmm.
Like a noble warrior who fights for the sake of good.
That's what you would say.
That's what you would say. You would also say that they are sort of a priestly figure. They have sacred texts. They've studied sacred texts. They can foresee the future. They give moral guidance. Mm-hmm. So we already have priest warrior. Mm-hmm. They are in the government.
They're in the government.
They are straight up a branch of the Republic.
And it's not like they'll have priest Jedis and government Jedis. They'll, like, priest Jedis are also government Jedis. Like, they're the same guy. You will have the same man giving a sermon and also giving orders to troops.
And also lopping off heads himself.
Yes.
At the front of the line.
Yeah, because that's fine.
You throw on all this, they're also wizards.
They're also wizards who have magic?
Yeah, they can throw things around. Some of them shoot lightning. Oh, well, I'm sorry, that's a Sith power. But
Literally, if you're not in the government, you're either guarding other governmental leaders or you're a librarian. Those are really the two Jedi things.
you take all of that, and also they're pilots. Are Jedi just naturally gifted pilots? Does using the Force give you piloting abilities, or is that specifically a Skywalker thing? Because
No, I don't think it is, because there's a lot of other good pilots. Like, Plo Koon is a pilot himself.
Obi-Wan's a phenomenal pilot.
Yeah. I think a lot of Jedi pilot their own ships. The Force is overpowered and ill-defined, so it literally can be anything. It's like when you have like it's like when you have an elemental power. It's like, I can move water. It's like you can literally do anything with water ever, all the time. There's no limits. Just everything with water. Okay, cool. You know?
Yeah, like, can you move someone's blood? Can you like remove the life force of someone?
Life force. You can remove the midichlorians. We gotta talk about the midichlorians later.
We do, but so yeah, it's like, what is a Jedi? There's so many things, and they're so conflicting. If you ask someone who has only seen the original trilogy, what is a Jedi? They would say it's a noble warrior who protects people. Mm-hmm. They protect people. They would be like vagabonds who'd go and do good.
Monks who follow their hearts to save others.
Well, you get the impression in the original trilogy that the Jedi are not necessarily monks, just Obi-Wan and Yoda are wise.
Yeah.
And Luke is a Jedi just because he goes and saves people.
Yeah. They really don't get into Jedi at all. In the they say your father was a Jedi Knight, and little Luke is like, wow, Jedi Knight. That's great. I want to be like that someday. And he has no idea what he's talking about. And no one does, because the Jedi have been gone for about, like, 19 years. However old Luke is however long it's been banned.
And then you get to the prequels, and they're very practical government agents. And Obi-Wan throws out the line, "Come on, Anakin, it's about democracy." It's like, is this about democracy?
I guess we're Democrats now.
You're a theocracy, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
The Jedi are not democratic. They're a ruling class. I mean, part of the ruling class.
They're hardly elected.
What are they? I mean, they're They're advisors to the ruling class who is elected democratically, but they're not elected democratically.
They are
The Jedi?
elected to the Jedi Council, but the
By
Jedi...
other Jedi.
Yeah, but there's no... Like, once you're on the council, you're on it forever. That's not how our democracies work, modern days.
I just never got the sense in the prequels that they were defending democracy.
It was always the sense that they're defending... They're just... Oh, well, they really just sounded like they were fighting. Fighting disorder.
They're just fighting a useless war.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I'm sorry, it's not useless. They're just fighting against the
Oh, it's
Sith.
not useless. Palpatine's trying to rise to power. That's not useless.
Well, the Jedi, so he was kind of, so it's like he's a phantom menace, and they were kind of like from within.
so
So
it's
like
it's
there was
like
a phantom
this is
in
like
Phantom Menace.
it's
So
like
like
Phantom
well,
Menace.
the Jedi were
So the Jedi thought they were
fighting
fighting
for a reason. There was a Phantom Menace, and so the Jedi were fighting for themselves.
Oh my god, I think I had a stroke.
What the fuck was I saying?
I don't know. Play it back. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm good.
We were talking about...
Oh, I said it was a useless war.
Yeah.
I never thought they were fighting to preserve democracy. They were fighting against the Sith, but not even really to protect people, because you never see the Sith really hurt people. They're just out there.
Well, because, like, the whole thing with the Confederacy, they're fighting the Confederate systems. There's, like, a trade dispute, and, like... The outer rims are not getting supplies that they need, so people are suffering, but we don't really care if the people are suffering because I'm a Jedi and I don't care about people. I have no emotional attachment to your planet's shitty ecosystem.
There's the conflict, isn't it? It's like we're supposed to have no emotions. We're supposed to have no attachment to people. We're also supposed to protect the people in our republic.
In a republic.
Presumably so they can live good emotion-filled lives.
Why? How are the Jedi supposed to be, like... Purely, so you are suffering. Well, this guy is suffering 10% more, so I will help him and not you, and you will not receive help this trimester. It's like, are they supposed to be like bureaucrats? Or are they just bureaucrats?
I mean, yes, effectively they are just bureaucrats, and it's
with
all
no emotion.
It's all very confusing.
It doesn't make sense. Also, Dooku's a Jedi.
Yes.
Have I told you that the thing with Dooku, Count Dooku, he was raised as a Jedi. He was in the Jedi Order. And very peacefully he walked away from it because you're just allowed to. There's no.
No, you're not.
Yes, you are. You're allowed to just walk away.
Anakin could have just left, but he wanted to be a Jedi.
But he wanted to be a Jedi.
Okay.
Dooku was like, I don't want to be a Jedi, and they were like, okay, cool. Don't worry about having this trained killer who has all these like inner secrets of the Jedi wander out into the. He goes back to his home planet to take over.
They're like
No, not to take over. To do some birthright stuff. Like his dad died, and
that's weird because they're like emotions are the most dangerous thing, especially to a trained Jedi. But it's like, oh, you don't want to be a Jedi anymore? Oh, okay, go feel your emotions.
Yeah, no, go sell your oats. I don't really care. Good talk to you. See you at squash tomorrow. Okay, cool. We still on for bingo? Cool. Yeah. Like, and then Dooku. After he's no longer a Jedi, no one really cares about that. He just does his own thing on his planet and then gets in line with the Sith. Then he becomes a Sith apprentice using his Jedi training. Because the Jedi train you in combat from birth? Because you're a combatant and not a monk? You're a warrior monk who's a licensed to killer guy.
Yeah.
And we're cool with him just being out in the wilderness. Like, we don't really care to check up on him, make sure he's not killing people, because why would you walk away from the Order? So they really don't suspect. And furthermore, because the Jedi Council knew Dooku for so long, they were like, oh, we trust him. He's a good guy. You know, he has no prior convictions. He has no prior knowledge of doing bad things, so he can't be the leader of the Confederacy. No, I'm Ki-Adi-Mundi, and I believe that my friend Dooku is like pretty good dude. So I'm not going to investigate him for war crimes.
What the heck?
That's what happened.
This is all new to me.
They did not suspect Dooku of wrongdoing until Geonosis, when he was like, "I'm Dooku and I'm doing wrong."
So they would have just let Anakin leave? Had he revoked his Jedihood?
Yeah, and he would have to do that. He would have to like have revoked it, which he didn't have.
Okay.
Any need to do that. It's because Anakin wanted to be a good Jedi, because he was told he was going to be a good Jedi. He was told he was the chosen one, that he wanted to prove them right. He wanted to do good with his life. He wanted to do good, which is an emotion.
Which is bad.
which is bad. But yeah, so Anakin wanted to do good, and they were like, no,
Huh.
you know?
Yeah. Don't they kidnap kids?
They do kidnap kids.
And those kids are allowed to leave once they're old enough.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, it's difficult, and you'll experience this in real life. I think it's a good plot point where,
It is a good plot point, but it makes the Jedi pretty objectively evil.
yes. Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm saying, I want to say, like, narratively, they're a great concept, and they're, like, the code is a great code to follow narratively. But objectively, these are not good people. These are the villains in this story.
Right. I think it can be a good story, but it does require that the Jedi be evil, which I don't think the movies are trying to get at. They just accidentally absolutely show that the Jedi are evil.
Like, even, they're the entire runtime of all the movies and all the shows is that, like, except for Rebels, which is best. They're like, the Jedi are the ultimate good, they're doing the best, and no wrongdoings, except for all the wrongdoings they did do. Like, they're just showing me footage after footage of war crimes.
I'm fairly confident the movies are attempting to show that the Jedi are well-intentioned and fail for reasons beyond their control. They did their best, but Palpatine was too smart. I think that's what the movies are trying to get at. But what they really show is that the Jedi are a bunch of dumb assholes.
Yes. Reasons beyond their control? No. It's entirely in your control if you stop kidnapping kids, indoctrinating them, cutting their limbs off.
Let Anakin see his mom once a year.
Let Anakin see his mom. I'm not even saying he has to fuck. Like, I'm not even saying give Anakin a girlfriend. Let him see his mom. Shmi's been off suffering for a while. You know, let him see his mama.
That brings us to the Jedi celibacy. Please introduce the fun fact about our friend Ki-Adi-Mundi.
The fun fact about Jedi celibacy is that you're not allowed to have attachments. Therefore, having girlfriends is pretty frowned upon because that's pretty attached. However, our friend Ki-Adi-Mundi, on the Jedi Council, one of the wisest Jedi, has 2 brains, so he's really wise. He's our friend Ki-Adi-Mundi. He's really good. He's logical and smart. He is from a race that has an extremely low birth rate and extremely low rate of male births. So, in order to preserve the race itself, most men of his race have multiple wives and father multiple children with these multiple wives, and it's fun. So the Jedi are just like, hey, you want to go fuck? Be my guest. Have many kids. Have all these kids.
It's such a dirty loophole, because it's like, couldn't it be argued that Anakin has a need to have a wife then? If
Yeah.
we're already making exceptions.
Absolutely. It makes no sense.
Like,
And
Anakin's family is going to die off.
it's such a royal screw to Anakin because Ki-Adi-Mundi is allowed to have 7 wives, allowed to have multiple children.
Ki-Adi-Mundi is sitting up there with his 7 mistresses, like, no, Anakin, you cannot go on a date.
But he's not allowed to have attachments, so he hates his wives. He doesn't care about his kids.
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Ki-Adi-Mundi doesn't like his wives, and he cares about his kids, which is
a character flaw to the
That is-
Jedi.
it's a character flaw to a Jedi and a direct violation of the loophole he was given. You can have these wives and kids, you just can't like any of them. So they're just that's a breeding ground for, like, terrible relationships. Any of these kids could just go evil in this world.
That is the central corruption of Anakin. It's all the Jedi's fault. He was a good kid until they told him he was evil.
They straight up
They
told
were
him
like,
he was evil.
you're evil, but we're still going to train you.
There's darkness inside you, 9-year-old child. I don't like you, I'm Yoda. Darkness.
Baby Anakin in episode 1 is so pure. He's like, hello, sir.
Hello, sirs. Would you like me to fix your ship?
Mr. Qui-Gon.
Oh my god, he's such a baby. I love him. He's such a little bread boy.
Bread boy.
He's so, like, doughy and a dough boy.
Feels very doughboy, not a bread boy.
He's a bread bowl.
He's got a bowl cut.
That's what I'm thinking of. It's his terrible bowl cut.
He's a doughboy with a bowl cut.
Can we talk about how boys lately are, like, men lately are getting bowl cuts? And it works when you're a kid, but, like, adult men are getting bowl cuts lately.
Is that true?
It's true.
I guess everything's cyclical. You just get bored with fashion.
I don't know.
You just do something intentionally bad.
Joe Keery of Stranger Things fame got a bowl cut. And I'm not saying all bowl cuts are bad, but, like, when you take the lion's mane that was Steve Harrington and give him a bowl cut, you just killed Samson.
I don't know who these people are.
You just slayed the beast.
Can we talk about Hayden Christensen's hair in episode 2?
I I love his hair in episode 3.
Episode 3, he's peak.
He's peak. Episode 2, they did him so dirty. It's just ugly.
Yeah.
Well, because, like, in episode 1, he has the long bowl cut, and he's got scraggy hair because he's a kid. And then at the very end of it,
They give him a haircut.
they give him a haircut. And it's cute because it's, like, spiking up because he's a little boy. And it's like, oh,
and
what
he
a
has
baby.
that same haircut 10 years later.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you didn't, oh. Because it's weird. It's definitely a uniform code to have the Padawan braid. Everyone has it. Even species that don't have hair, like Ahsoka, they are given jewelry to act as a braid. It's like a spiritual thing.
Braids are cool.
Totally. I don't necessarily know if you can't cut your hair either. You have to have like a buzz cut. Because, like, why did Anakin have that?
I don't know.
For no reason.
Clean the boy up.
Clean him up. Obi-Wan in episode 1 has the same haircut. Like,
Yeah,
bold,
I wonder if that's a rite of passage.
I wonder because, like, why? Just have the braid.
We have
You're
to
so ugly.
we have to talk about Anakin's relationships.
Yes.
So we have the Ki-Adi-Mundi love loophole. You can in fact be a Jedi and have many wives if you have the right race.
Why does he have to? Who said Anakin has to love Padme? Is it not enough for him to just go on dates with the senator? Does he like? What if we said
that's emotion.
What if we said? I don't know, but like, what if we said Anakin doesn't love Padme? He's just going on dates with her. Is that fine?
Yeah, if he does it detachedly.
Yeah, if he doesn't care. Is that fine now?
That'd be a waste of time.
Well, yeah. So is Ki-Adi-Mundi having 7 wives not a waste of time?
Yeah, the weird thing about Ki-Adi-Mundi is like the Jedi obviously care about preserving his species.
Yes.
Presumably because of the natural order or whatever. Even though emotional creatures are not supposed to have emotions. That's unnatural.
Yes.
But they care about preserving species, but you can't care about caring about preserving species.
Yes. And you
You have to do it matter-of-factly.
You must have these kids, and to have them, you must raise them. But you cannot like them, so you're gonna raise them wrong inevitably.
Yeah, you can't show a child love.
You can't like your kids.
And if any of them are force sensitive, we'll just snatch them up.
We'll snatch them.
Otherwise, they're dead to us. But they have to be alive. We have to protect them.
We have to make sure they're alive.
We just can't love them or foster them. You can seek a life of detachment and find personal enlightenment, but you also cannot be an arm of the government intent on protecting the natural order and the good. Good does not equal love.
No.
You can't love.
Yes.
You have to do it disinterestedly. You know, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Why do they care about protecting people if they are supposed to be detached?
Yeah. My whole anger is focused on Ki-Adi-Mundi because he is what is wrong with the entire order. And he is the downfall of the Jedi, to put it in such words. Their whole attitude about him and around him and everything he stands for is just everything wrong with them. Everything that led to the problems that they faced with Anakin.
You must be near these people that you love, but you must not love them.
Yes. And it's not even a test, like you must be around love so that you can prove that you don't need love. It's not a weird test. It's just forget these people.
It's thoughtless.
Yeah. Just don't like your people.
So can we talk about Anakin's friendship with Obi-Wan?
You're my brother.
That's presumably
I loved you.
That's looked upon as a positive relationship.
Mm-hmm. It's a positive male role model for this boy.
I would even go as far to say they love each other. Obi-Wan says, you're my brother.
Yeah, loved you.
That's not like a character flaw in Obi-Wan.
No.
These two really care about each other. And that's not bad, is it?
No, and if anything, it was supposed to help Anakin. If anything, in the Clone Wars, the series, the movie, take that for a spin. In the intro to Clone Wars, the series, Yoda, I believe, is the one who gives Anakin his own Padawan, Ahsoka, in order to teach him responsibility. But in order to do so, he has to teach Anakin to be attached to this Padawan so he can care about her development. It's such a weird thing! Because not only is Yoda putting a child, she's like a 14-year-old girl, in the hands and care of someone he doesn't trust.
Yeah, Yoda does not like or trust Anakin.
So, like, he straight up doesn't care about Ahsoka's well-being, which is, like, it's fully in line with the Jedi's code of not caring about people. But are you really just gonna not care if this 14-year-old girl is, like, harmed by this Jedi you don't trust? I'm not trying to apply anything, like, gross or anything, but just physical harm.
Like hurting her, leading her to the dark side.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yoda Why?
Yoda's bad. Yoda's the worst.
Why is Yoda so spineless when it comes to raising Anakin? He's like, every inch of my being is telling me no, but no, we can keep him.
But give him a girl.
Yoda has said no hundreds of times to raising Anakin.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, he just, I guess he can't put his foot down.
I can't put my little green feet down.
Because he's in his fun space chair.
I'm just having fun floating.
Oh, I love Yoda's space chair in episode 2.
Who among us doesn't want a space chair?
Oh, man.
Oh, man, if I could have a space chair, I'd be lit.
He's cute. So, we could say, I can hear some people saying, yeah, of course the Jedi are bad in the prequels. That's the point. But I'm also arguing Luke only triumphs by ignoring Yoda. We forget about that. Like, he
Yoda's like, don't go to your friends. Stay in my swamp.
Stay in my swamp.
In my swamp you will stay.
More trees to swing.
More ropes to climb.
Records to set.
Rocks to throw. He's like, don't see your friends. And Luke is like, I gotta. And then he does. And he saves literally the galaxy.
It's not just the prequels. Luke has to disobey Yoda.
Not only does Luke save the whole galaxy, that all happens because he loves his friends and he loves his family.
Right.
None of that could happen without Luke's love.
And even in the new trilogy, we see that when Luke tries to initiate a new Jedi Order, things go south.
Yeah.
And this is why it drives me crazy in episode 8 when Yoda shows up and he sets fire to the Jedi texts.
Set fire to the texts, I will.
Which is crazy. He can shoot lightning in the afterlife.
Yeah, we don't talk about that enough.
That's awesome.
Let's talk about that in a minute.
It'd be cool if he showed up in a fight.
Yeah, if on the Salt Planet, when like the entire Resistance was getting their ass handed to them, if Yoda just came and was like, pew pew, and then just.
But that's the thing about the Jedi, isn't it? They don't help people.
You sound like you have a lot of anger.
I have a lot of anger. I have a lot of attachments.
I am attached to these characters.
You're holding on. Let go.
Why is the Force
Wait.
connecting us?
Is Kylo Ren the perfect Jedi? You're holding on. Let go.
Yeah. Kill your father so you don't have to think about your father. Oh my god, we hit it.
Kylo Ren's the perfect Jedi.
Kylo Ren's a perfect Jedi. He didn't want to be attached to his father, so he got rid of his father. Smart. Galaxy brain. He did it.
Destroy the past. Kill it if you have to.
He's right. He's following the Jedi tenets. What does the code say? What does the code say?
Oh my god. So, but, okay, so Yoda himself burns down the Jedi temple intending to destroy the Jedi texts.
Yeah.
Saying, I've finally learned, Luke. I was wrong about literally everything. And then Rey goes and saves the texts, and we're supposed to look at that as a good thing she did. I see that as preserving the only... the Jedi are the original sin in this universe! Ah! Sorry. Okay, I'm calming down.
Sorry, do go on. I'm having a nice tea.
Yeah,
Sponsored by tea.
I see Rey preserving the Jedi texts as preserving an evil in this world.
Yeah, it's
Yoda said, it's time for the Jedi to... Well...
Luke says, it's time for the Jedi to end, right?
Yeah, and Yoda burns...
Yoda's like, you're smart, Luke. And then he burns the temple down.
We are what they grow beyond. I love that line.
We are what they grow beyond. What's that mean?
Your role as a teacher. There will come a point where your student will think for themselves and they may outgrow your teachings and learn for themselves.
Is that a Luke quote?
Yoda says that.
Yoda says
in
that
episode 8.
to Luke.
I love that, yeah.
That's a beautiful quote because
Luke's like, I failed Ben. And then Yoda's like, failure.
Failure.
And he's like, it's okay that you're flawed, Luke. We are what our students grow beyond.
That's beautiful. I like that. Okay, before we get into it, I like that as a narrative point because that is almost taking responsibility for all his shit that he threw in the past. All the wrongdoings Yoda did to the entire order.
Yeah.
All his faults. Like, that's almost taking responsibility.
Finally, I was
for it.
so happy for Yoda. It was like, wow, this is a Yoda I can get behind.
This
He's
is the
sorry.
Yoda. This is the hero of Yoda. This is the one true Yoda. The Yoda who is smart. The Yoda who does love.
This is Yoda
This is the
in parallel with Vader striking Palpatine with lightning and throwing him off the cliff. This is
Yes.
Yoda striking the Jedi Temple, the source of the evil.
yeah, hell yeah,
But then Rey saves the texts, and that's fine.
yeah.
So forget
Well,
all that.
I'm hoping that Rey burns them or just doesn't read them or something.
guess,
She was
but it's
like, I see a thing and I took it because I'm a scavenger.
But also, since Kylo Ren, our presumed villain, is saying kill the past, we're not supposed to believe that that's a good thing to do.
It's such a
even though that's what
confused-
Yoda said to do, but then Rey didn't do that.
But Yoda said it, so it's smart, and he's the smartest, and we have to trust that he's the smartest because he's the smartest.
But Rey disobeyed him.
Well, or did she grow beyond him? Oh. It's like,
She grew beyond him by reverting back to the text.
oh no. I grew beyond his revelation, and I'm gonna be bad. Because he wanted to be good, so I should be bad now because he's good now.
How bad can I be? Nope. Oh.
It's you hit the nail on the head right there. Like, Yoda actually did say what the lesson of the Jedi narratively should have been. You know, that they are flawed. They done goofed up the whole galaxy.
Yeah,
and now they can fix it. But the narrative then goes an extra 10 minutes to say, oh, no, don't listen to that. Rey's the leader. Rey's got the Jedi stuff now.
Yeah, that I would say is the climax of the movie. But then we backtrack and Luke says, I will not be the last Jedi. It's like, wait, didn't we just establish that the Jedi did things wrong?
And that he should be the last.
Forget the sacred texts. Rey's already a Jedi because she loves the good.
She loves the good and throw rock.
Yeah, huh?
I mean, if the Jedi, narratively speaking, if the Jedi are a group of people who know how to throw rocks, and sometimes they're weird, they got a weird religious thing going on, that's fine. But the notion that they are the pure good and they are right, and that we should be rooting for them, is so not what I want to do as a viewer. It's so, they're not the good guys, plain and simple. They're a force.
Force.
They're a force of bad, and the Empire's a force of bad. They're both bad, and the real hero is in the middle, walking the middle path. Buddha.
No, I mean, that's the thing. If you're detached, why are you obsessed with the light? If you're
Yeah.
detached, you should be saying there should be a balance of light and dark. And like,
Yeah.
if Ki-Adi-Mundi's species goes extinct, that's just part of the order, man.
That's part of nature. What is one guy gonna do to save the species? He has like 7 kids, apparently, in Legends, but like, is 7 really gonna save the species?
What's one man to a mob? What's a
one
mob to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer? You don't believe in
Yoda.
Yoda.
Yoda. We are copyright stricken.
I wonder if there's symbolism to bringing back Puppet Yoda. Like we're getting back to the.
Interesting.
Well, actually, you know what I just thought of?
What?
Puppet Yoda
Okay.
appears in Star Wars canon timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Puppet Yoda appears in every movie after Episode 3, so we're to presume he became a puppet.
He went to the swamp and became a puppet.
Isn't that funny? In from 1 to 8, in 1, 2, 3 he's CG, then he's a puppet in 5, 6, 8.
Wait, was he a puppet in the new movie?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Why?
Fan service. People love that. A big complaint of the prequels was
That he looks-
CG Yoda doesn't work.
Which, if I can go on a limb and say the CG Yoda looks great, I don't know what people are complaining about.
Oh, he looks good. I just don't like that he flip around and
Yeah.
because his whole thing was mind over matter, but then he also is matter. He's also just
Well,
like,
he's mind flipping.
I guess, dude.
That's what I always thought.
Now I'm using my mind to fight physically.
Yes. Yeah. What's confusing about that? There is no confusion. There is truth. That's not the order. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge.
Break out the sacred Jedi text.
Oh no.
The sacred Jedi texts.
Oh God. Can I pay Mark Hamill to like record a away message for my phone?
Yeah,
I just love
probably.
his voice so
Well, if you
much.
run into him at a con,
Oh, Luke. I mean Mark Hamill. Sorry, can I call you Luke?
you can also call me Joker.
No. Hi, here's our podcast about the Joker.
Nope, not today.
Not today. Okay.
got a lot on my mind, y'all. Put that in the box.
Put that in the box. Okay, all right.
But yeah,
Me
they
grabbing the microphone. The Joker. I don't care about the Joker.
they brought back Puppet Yoda as a Force ghost, so it's like a projection of a puppet, which is funny.
Oh my goodness. So it's a shadow puppet.
Symbolism.
Oh my god.
We've cracked it.
We didn't talk about culturally in real life about
Okay.
the Jedi. We didn't get into that.
No,
Let's
we
get
didn't.
into that now.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna look up some stats.
What are the Yoda in culture? A quick Googling of the Jedi religion. The Wikipedia entry calls it a philosophy, and
Which is different from religion.
It seems to be one of those religions, almost like Pastafarianism, where it's meant to point out anything can be a religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, like, maybe the people who actually declare Jedi as my religion are more akin to Pastafarians. Like, they don't actually do anything about it.
At least as an outsider who hasn't done proper research, it feels like anyone who says Jedi is my religion in real life is a nerd who's trying to sound like they are really smart and they understand these movies in a deeper way, the philosophy behind the movies, like they understand the philosophy of the Jedi because they're really smart. And it's just like, hey, shut up. Because clearly you don't follow the Jedi, because if you did understand what they were about, if you did understand their beliefs, if you did understand the philosophy, the really good writing of their philosophy, which is a good written philosophy, it's a good written narrative, you would realize it wouldn't work in real life because they're awful. They're awful hypocrites. They're terrible people. They're awful. You wouldn't be a Jedi in real life because they're awful. It's like, I follow, medieval Christianity. Oh, cool, that's awesome, because you're a medieval scholar. Okay, are you also homophobic and xenophobic and racist and awful and you smell like piss and shit and have the plague? Like, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. Clearly, you don't study the thing you claim to study, because the Jedi are awful, and I hate them.
Wow. Yeah, I almost feel like to say, like, Jedi is my religion, either you're saying I love Star Wars and it ends there. Like,
cool.
You're not saying anything.
That's fine, yeah.
It's just a shorthand. Or you're saying you believe in that naive idea of a Jedi as someone who protects the weak, which is not what Jedi do.
They've never done it.
They leave the weak to dry. They hang them out to dry,
They
man.
really do.
Yeah, it seems like you're saying I want to be like Luke Skywalker, a Jedi defector.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you want to be like Luke Skywalker, that is awesome, because he is a great hero. He fights for good things. Narratively, he's amazing, obviously.
And even Obi-Wan is a pretty good role model in 4, 5. Well, no, he's a good role model throughout, except for the weird. What I said was correct from a certain point of view.
Can I tell you a fact that I'm reading on Wikipedia?
What?
In 2005, the Temple of the Jedi Order was registered in Texas. It was granted IRS tax exemption in 2015. So the Jedi are a real ass thing.
No, but that seems like people fighting to show that the law is skewed towards religion. Like, I don't think those people actually worship in that temple. I think that's just to say, oh, Christianity is silly. Let me make my own religion.
Okay, valid.
That's my read on it. I don't think anyone's actually worshiping there. Because I think we all know metachlorians don't exist.
Yeah, that's scrubbed away from canon.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But I mean, like, I don't think anyone believes they can use the Force.
No, because certainly someone would have done it by now.
They're just
Certainly
saying
someone would have tried.
they're just saying the Jedi code is a good code to live by. But
But it's not.
when they say that, do they mean they're trying not to feel emotions?
Yeah. Or do they mean I like to fight for my friends, a la Luke?
A la Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan feels so much emotion.
Obi-Wan is full of emotion.
Sorry. Obi-Wan's a great figure because he feels emotion. He's a good friend to Anakin. I mean, he tries to be.
He's a good friend to Padme.
He lets his stupid religion get in the way of that. And
Yeah.
He's kind of oblivious if he didn't realize Anakin was having an affair for like years.
Yeah. I think everyone was, because they really made it.
He was living with
hold on,
Padme,
guys.
a pregnant Padme.
Also, Yoda and the boys were like, we need to teach young Skywalker responsibility. We need to teach him how to, take care of himself, how to really become a Jedi Knight he should be. Let's send him on a very private vacation, all expenses paid, with this hot girl who we know he likes because he said it a lot when he was a kid.
He said it in front of everyone. The first thing he says is
first thing he
like,
says
"Ma,
is-
you've grown."
Yeah. They're like,
Well, no. Padme says, "Wow, Anakin, you've grown," and he says, "You've grown in beauty," like in front of everyone.
in front of everyone and her mom, like more beautiful. I mean, more like I've seen you in my dreams. I dream about you every night.
voluptuous.
I mean, more your cans. Oh baby,
I dream of you. Yeah, he says.
I dream of you every night. Why?
No, he says, "I've been dreaming about you for 10 years."
And also Padme's like, that's great. Like she's not weirded out, which we'll get into that later.
I can't get a read on her.
The Jedi send him on this all-expense-paid VIP trip to go bone this girl. Like, did they not think that this hormone-addled, troubled teen would get up to some kind of trouble? Not to say that they knew he was gonna fall in love with her, but didn't they think something was gonna happen? Like, he's clearly not the best Padawan. He's clearly kind of a loose cannon. He needs... Anakin needs special attention because he's been giving them problems since his initiation. And B, Padme's got an assassin on her tail. Like, do we want to send, like, this untrained, like, strong but loose boy? Like, it makes no sense.
That's the thing, isn't it? So we send Obi-Wan to kill General Grievous. Like, we send Obi-Wan to just be an assassin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Grievous is a military official, but, we send him to be a mercenary, to be a warrior.
We send him to murk him.
We send Obi-Wan for the violent job that doesn't require wisdom, and we send Anakin for the job that would require a chaste 45-year-old man, or however old Obi-Wan is.
Send Mace Windu, who is both strong and completely dedicated to her. Like,
He's got to sit on the council.
Oh, I know.
He's got to literally just sit on the council.
He's got to sit. Why didn't they send who's available? Plo Koon he's out doing some missions. Kid Fisto, no, too much sex appeal. No. Way too much sex appeal.
I love it.
Ayla Secura, she's smart and not gay, so like this won't be a problem. Nah, let's send the boy. Let's send the boy who's clearly straight.
Yeah. Anakin doesn't do much protecting either.
He doesn't do much protecting.
I mean, the point is that they're hidden, and ideally he wouldn't have to protect her, but...
But then why does she need a bodyguard anyway?
Just in case.
Why is it a Jedi bodyguard too? I know they're clearly...
Here we go. What is the Jedi's job? Why are we protecting this senator?
Okay, the thing is, like, they're part of the government, I guess, and they are protectors, and they are clearly the most well-trained people. Like, you can have fighters, you can have mercenaries and bounty hunters and all that, but they're wild cards. They're from random planets. We don't know their moral code, and, like, we don't know these other people. We do know the Jedi, so it makes sense to, like, send a Jedi to protect someone. But at the same time, if Padme is not his first problem. He's had a lot of other misconducts. Like, he's very hasty. He's not well contained. He's very emotional on other missions. Like, I don't know why they send this emotional boy to go to this woman's house and split her pear.
That's the most romantic scene in all of cinema, where Anakin floats a pear over to her.
And then eats it. No. He floats a pear away from her, cuts it in half, and eats it. He takes her pear, and then he floats the other half back to her. But
oh, there it is.
Yeah, but like he eats it first. No. The most romantic scene is I don't like sand. Of course, it gets everywhere. Not like you. You're soft and everything good. You're made of everything goodness.
I love those negative descriptions. I hate my fucking teacher. I hate Obi-Wan. I hate Yoda. Not like you.
I hate the sand people. Not like you.
I hate myself. I hate sand people.
I hate the sand people.
Angry at being alive, except for you.
Except for you. You do something to me.
She's like, oh, that's sweet.
Me, I'd be like, I'm gonna move across the country.
Yeah.
My goodness. But anyway.
Jedi and culture.
Jedi and culture. As with any religion, let's not do that.
I'm putting my foot down. I really think when people say they are Jedi, they're taking Luke's version of Jedi.
Which is good.
Yeah.
If you want to be Luke's Jedi, that's totally fine. If you want to be a Jedi...
But it's also intentionally vague.
Yeah.
Which is, what is a Jedi? I don't know, a good guy that's brave and loves his friends and
my friends.
Defends the defenseless.
Defends women.
We respect women.
Yo, Luke be drinking that respect women juice straight from the titty.
Wow.
Well, he does. And anyone...
The blue respect women juice Right from the fattened teat of
some space cow. So for all you nerd bros out there who love Star Wars, drink more respectable woman juice and then we'll talk. I'm highly critical of just the terrible nerd boys in real life, just the ones who are just mean to other people. Just for liking a show. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But that's for another story.
May I ask you 2 questions?
Don't say you're a Jedi. Yes.
A, how does Luke drink that respect women juice? And B, do the Jedi drink that respect women juice?
Luke drinks the space woman juice. Nope.
Easy.
Luke drinks respect women juice with his gal pal friends. His little fish ladies.
Who?
The little fish nuns.
Oh.
Who he talks to at a respectful distance.
You're talking about episode 8.
Oh, yes. Yes. Straight from the titty.
Does he talk to them? I thought they're kind of animal-like. They
But
just...
they're nuns. They sweep.
They just kind of tend to the mountain.
Yeah, just like Luke does.
I didn't get the impression that Luke ever talks to them.
I mean, you don't think he's gone down like, hey, ladies. No, he wouldn't say that because he's a respect women. Man. What was your question? I was thinking about space drink.
Oh,
Space drink. Space drink.
Luke's just good to his sister.
Luke's good to his sister and his sisters.
Are there any other women in...
No.
Yeah.
Do the Jedi
Is
drink...
Leia the only woman in the original trilogy? Aside from Jedi Rock singer? There are women in Jabba's palace. Oh, no. There is actually a very high-ranking female general in episode 4.
Wait, I'm trying to find her name.
I'm sorry, Star Wars is good to women.
Sorry, shut up. Are you perhaps talking about Psy Snoodles?
Psy Snoodles.
the most sexual awakening being in all of Star Wars. The most arousing.
What about the
feminine form?
What about the large blue woman in Jabba's palace?
The large blue woman or the Twi'lek lady?
Let me see.
Well, this is Psy Snoodles.
Yeah, hot.
Ooh, she got them lips.
Okay, so
do the Jedi drink their respect women juice?
The Jedi are surprisingly good to women. Isn't there one on the High Council?
More than one, yeah.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for
Yaddle is on the High Council.
That's good for a weird theocracy that
Yeah.
hates love.
It seems to be pretty gender neutral. Like, they don't particularly,
They
care
don't
about gender. Like, narratively, it happens that men are the stars, which is like a whole cultural
that's
problem.
meta, though.
Yeah, that's meta.
That's not really the Jedi just doing. That's more George Lucas's hand.
Yeah. But in universe, yeah, it's pretty. Several of the very notable Jedi we know of are women.
Ahsoka,
Ayla Secura, Luminara Unduli, Barriss Offee.
Sure.
Ahsoka
I know
was-
so little about lore. I just look at the films as that's it. I just look at the films.
Yeah. They say if you're only watching the films, you're only getting half the story.
Half? You're getting 5% of the story.
You're
not even getting the most important 5% of the story.
Yeah, really, apparently. Let me check Jedi Masters. Oh yeah, Rey's a Jedi Master? Yeah? Okay.
I mean, who's around to declare this?
I'm sorry, this is most powerful Jedi in the saga.
Is Rey powerful? I mean, has she...
Does float ship.
She killed a bunch of guards guarding Snoke. And she has gone hand-to-hand with Kylo. Yeah, she's strong. What am I saying?
We have to talk about Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, let's talk about Qui-Gon Jinn.
No.
Oh.
Well, hold on a sec.
Oh, okay. I'm drinking your water.
That's fine, I guess. Prior to episode 1, there is one female on the Jedi High Council. That would be Yaddle, a female Yoda. And she's got a whole wild story that we're not going to get into. There's Shakti, Depa Billaba. Depa Billaba is probably one of the more important bridge characters. Unfortunately, she doesn't get much screen time of any, but she's an important bridge character between her master, Mace Windu, and Caleb Doom, who becomes Kanan Jarrus, who becomes the Jedi Master to Ezra, the star of the series, the Rebels series. And Kanan Jarrus is one of the best characters in all of Star Wars. I will say that. I will put that onto paper. I will stake my life on that claim.
You had me at Yaddle.
You had me at Yaddle.
Yaddle was introduced before episode 1.
Well, not introduced before episode 1, but she's on the council in episode 1.
Oh, okay. What?
Yeah, she's on the council.
Do we see her?
Yeah.
In episode 1, we see a female Yoda.
And it's really not talked about. She looks like that.
What the?
She's sitting in the corner.
She is not in the movie.
No, she's sitting in the corner, yeah.
She has. Oh my gosh.
This is the Jedi High Council at episode 1.
Yaddle.
It changes to episode 2 because Yaddle dies.
What?
Yeah. Yaddle dies.
The best parts of Star Wars are off screen.
She dies. I don't remember if this remains canon, but I believe she died on a mission with Anakin. She sacrificed herself to save him, and he was full of guilt. But she was like, "Do not worry, my son. I'm Yaddle. I'm dying for you."
Okay. We needed to see Anakin court Padme very slowly.
We need to see Anakin court Padme, and I don't care what Yaddle thinks about it. Why didn't he talk to Ki-Adi-Mundi? Okay, I'm gonna talk about...
He does in the comics, apparently. We were just watching.
True, yeah.
And Ki-Adi-Mundi's like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
But you can't.
So, do the Jedi respect women? For the most part, yes. They are treated as complete equals between men. I'm assuming that as aliens, men and women don't really exist that much out there. I know, narratively it has to, but if you think about aliens...
I'm sure there's a lot more gray area than even we have.
Oh, yeah. They do drink respect women juice. The writers, the storytellers, they are not always drinking respect women juice, but it has been getting better.
It was pretty good to start with. There's a high-ranking female general in episode 4.
Like in
the scene with the, well, that's no bigger than a womp rat. Like that's a woman leading the...
Oh, yes, yeah. That's cool. And Leia's like a pretty baller character. Once you get her out of the slave outfit, she's pretty...
I mean, in episode 4, Leia's like a lot more badass than I remembered as a youth.
Oh, yeah. Because
she like, Han is messing around with the laser, and she's like, I'll do it!
I'll do it, fly boy. Get in the chute, bitch.
Some trigger-happy fly boy.
Love it.
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
Some nerf herder. Yeah, unfortunately, the male writers of any other pop culture seceding Star Wars treats her as a sect object. But in the actual text, she's not. She's pretty cool. Like, she's pretty, like, respected. Mm-hmm. And so are the other women. Depa Billaba, favorite character. Kanan Jarrus. That's that diatribe. I want to talk about good Jedis. We'll end on a good Jedi note. But we gotta talk about Qui-Gon Jinn and how he's actually the best Jedi, and they hate him for it.
And before we get to that, actually, could I talk about 2 more things?
No.
About bad Jedi?
Yes.
What's the deal with the Jedi and the clone army? The morality of having a clone army is really not a factor in Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
The morality is totally not touched upon. They're just like, oh.
Like, episode 2, Attack of the Clones, the most interesting thing about this is, you're telling me the Jedi have a clone army?
You're telling me the Jedi have... I'm sorry, a what?
we don't see them discuss, should we have a clone army?
We see it... Okay, so, prior to episode 2, before the movie starts...
In between episodes 1 and 2?
Yeah, just in that 10-year span. Off-screen, I should say. Off-screen, like, there's this whole thing... The council... Not Jedi. The Republic Council is discussing... creating a clone army to combat the Separatists. The Jedi are the ones overseeing it, I guess, because they're the warlords, I guess. A lot of this is, oh, this is happening, I guess. This, just go with it, I guess. You know, it doesn't make sense, I guess. The thing with the clones, they didn't know what was happening with them. That was more of a Sheev thing that he was doing under wraps, but it was originally commissioned by the Jedi. Like, the Senate gave their okay to the Jedi to do it. And the Jedi, to start the cloning process, they used the template of Jango Fett.
Bad idea.
Known assassin, was straight up trying to kill Padme, who the Jedi were supposed to protect. So why are you using his body to make your clones?
They didn't know that at the time.
They did! They knew that!
In episode 2, it was a big mystery. Who's trying to kill Padme?
But he's a bounty hunter! How did you get his DNA if you didn't know who he was?
Yeah, true.
And he was given his own clone. They were talking to him about the cloning process. That's who Boba Fett is.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Boba Fett is a clone of Jedi. Nope.
Jedi Fett.
Boba Fett is a clone of Jango Fett.
He's not his son?
He is his son. He's raising him as his son.
That's incredible. Do they say that in the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
They say this. Pop culture has not talked about this, but I will. I'm breaking the truth out.
I mean, yeah, he's as much his son as though he had been created by him and a woman. You know, he's raising him as a son.
Yeah, Boba Fett is not accelerated growth as the rest of the clones are. That's why he's a son and not a man.
That's wild. How do I miss these things in the movie?
Because it's so much.
There's
jargon.
so much happening, and like
also
that's
because none of the Jedi know what's going on. They don't know about the biochips for sure. Like
never mentioned in the movie.
it is. No. It's not mentioned in the movie. It's mentioned in the series. So I don't blame you. But
We didn't.
Order 66
Is the chip.
Is the chip. A chip was implanted into every clone's brain.
Yeah.
That none of the Jedi knew about, even though they commissioned this. This is because Palpatine had commissioned the chip without the knowledge of everyone else and killed the only person who was in charge of knowing it. I believe a Jedi was in charge of setting it forth, and once he found out what the chip was going to be used for, Palpatine had him killed. So that happened, and no one knew about it.
That's cool. We can't blame the Jedi for that.
We can't blame the Jedi for it, except for the fact that no one, because of their detachment, they're like, oh, this Jedi's dead? We're not going to investigate that. Obi-Wan's literally running around the factory in Kamino, just looking at this shit like, what the hell's going on here? I was not to, what? Like, he's freaking out and he's trying to get a message to the rest of the Jedi, like, guys, what? And that's ridiculous that Obi-Wan has to go loose cannon to figure out what's going on. How do they not know what's going on? He walks into the factory and the Kamino is like, so you here for the clones? And he's like,
the what?
the what? Yes, I'm here for the clones. 60,000 clones you commissioned last night. The what?
The what?
It's ridiculous that you can consider them at all competent if they have no clue what's going on with the clones. The army they commissioned, or at least is being commissioned around them. I forget exactly the chain of command, but suffice to say.
Okay, so the clones are, I suppose, negligence.
Gross negligence. High treason, honestly. That should get a, Nuremberg trial.
I was also reading a bit of lore from Legends that the Jedi would snatch up younglings if they tested a certain midichlorian count. Like if you were in the Republic, in Coruscant, like you would be tested at a certain age and they'd just take you.
They just take you. And it is honestly not touched upon.
It
because,
is.
The younglings we know of, like Ahsoka, Barriss, all them.
Oh, Ahsoka.
Cats.
Oh, yeah, because Anakin's old to start his Jedi training, which
Anakin is
fucked up.
No, that's why they didn't want him. They're like, he's too old.
That's messed up, dude. You gotta get them while they're completely impressionable.
Yeah, oh yeah, so we can indoctrinate them. That's the thing, like, the characters we do see, Ahsoka, first and foremost, like, she has been taken by birth she was found by Plo Koon.
By Plo
Plo Koon, my favorite guy.
They just give the newborn a blood test and take it if it's...
they just take it and raise it, and that's that. And, like, because they're there from birth, they like the Order. They want to be a part of the Order. That's all they know, you know? Like, that's why Anakin has such a problem with letting go of Shmi, because he lived with her. He loved her, you know? He had a family.
And love is bad.
And love is bad. So we gotta take you when you're a baby, so you can't form love. We'll put you in a room with all these other babies. We won't hold you, but we'll give you a sword. And you gotta do that thing they do.
You're doing a fun little mime.
You gotta do that thing they do with the Master. What's going on?
I did see a bit of lore that the children's lightsaber is not as deadly.
Yeah. Good.
So you can have 15 of them just standing in a room and it's not a big deal.
No one's gonna hurt each other.
Another interesting bit of lore is that it was either speculated, I think it was speculated, that if you were of an upper class family, you might hide your kids from the Jedi. And it's speculated that Palpatine was like an upper class connected political family that was able to keep him from the Jedi.
That's very interesting. We should talk about that in the freaking movies, because that's so interesting.
We should talk about the fact that Boba Fett is cloned from Jango Fett.
We should talk about that more. We should talk about that.
We should talk about, do clones have feelings? There's a lot interesting here to talk about.
Some of this is talked about in the series that no one has seen but me, I guess. Like...
Shame on the movie for not exploring what's actually interesting.
Interesting, yeah. Like, I'm so interested in the Jedis as a flawed order than I am about them being a cool order, you know?
It should be explained in the movie why Finn is not a clone trooper.
Yeah.
Like, they should say, I don't know, I'm not a screenwriter, but...
They should say, oh, remember that clone army? That sucked. Let's just steal more babies.
Babies! So many babies!
Terry, the First Order is stealing babies from birth like Finn, and that's fucked up. But how is stealing babies for the Jedi Order any less messed up? Oh my god! Fight your battles.
Because the Jedi only took gifted babies.
We took the dumb babies no one wants. We took the ugly babies. We took the babies with no self-esteem.
Here's how I'm not a screenwriter, but
beautiful.
you could work it in, like, when Finn defects, it's like, oh, we should use clones instead of people. Why did we
give them free will? Why did we take beings with free will?
I don't know. I feel like I need that explanation, because people were very confused in the trailer. It's like, wait, why is Finn not Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, like, the non-genetically gifted babies.
We took the...
Non-genetomodiscit.
We took the dumb babies. But not dumb enough that they will listen to us. Because they didn't know very well. So we mentioned that the Jedi didn't want to take an Anakin because he was too old. They didn't like him. They didn't want him. They also didn't like his master, Qui-Gon. They did not like Qui-Gon. And I'll tell you why they didn't like Qui-Gon. Because he was a good Jedi. He was someone...
Woo!
They didn't like him because he was a good Jedi. Woo! They didn't like him because he was not corrupt. He was an idealist, yes. But he had faith in the Force. He believed... He was more religious than any of them. They're all self-centered. They are all, like, occupied with keeping their control of the Order so tight. And here is crazy Qui-Gon who believes that something can be changed. He believes that something can be better. He believes that this boy is what the texts have prophesied. We don't even talk about the prophecy. Why don't they believe in the prophecy? Why is he the only religious guy who believes in this religious prophecy?
Right, no, so the Jedi Council has knowledge of this prophecy, and they have scientific proof.
Scientific blood proof.
That Anakin fulfills the prophecy, and they're like, I don't know.
I don't know. No, I do not. And they hate him. Obi-Wan says to Qui-Gon, Master, if only you follow the rules, you could be part of the council. You're good enough. You're just as good as they are. Like, he says Qui-Gon is not part of the council because they don't like him.
He's too religious.
He's too goody-goody.
He cares about, like, protecting people.
He doesn't follow the rules. He doesn't follow the Jedi rules that Yoda, a known homophobe, doesn't follow.
Known homophobe?
Because he's mean to Luke. I love that joke.
Qui-Gon really leaves Shmi out to dry.
He does try. He did not try hard enough.
Yeah, he didn't try.
Well, neither did the Jedi. No one tried hard enough for Shmi. Justice for Shmi. You know who tried hard enough? Klieg.
Lars? Oh, Klieg.
Klieg Lars. He tried hard enough.
Klieg Lars is his name? Okay.
He lost his legs trying to get her back.
Whoa.
Yeah. He tried. God damn it, he was the only one who loved her.
And Anakin.
Yeah, well, no.
What? Anakin didn't love Shmi?
Yes. Anakin loved Shmi. Klieg did not like Anakin.
No, he just didn't have a relationship.
He never met Klieg until after. And
yes.
Owen hated Anakin.
Uncle Owen?
Yeah, because he was like, Anakin, you're reckless. This is why Shmi's dying. Or something like that.
That's a horrible thing to say to someone.
What? No, he didn't say that. No. Owen was, when he got Luke, he was like, your father was so reckless, that's why this all happened. That's why he's an orphan. That's why Luke's an orphan. So, like, he just never liked Anakin.
There's a really chilling scene.
Well, no one likes Anakin. Fucking the Jedi don't like Anakin.
There's a really chilling scene in episode 3 where Anakin is sitting with Yoda in a dark room and you just see light glittering in through shades. And it's like a confessional. And Anakin is like, I have feelings. And Yoda's like, you must not feel ever.
That's horrifying, and that is way too close to home as a Catholic.
It's just like there's that cool new animation where they go through the Skywalker saga, like it's one fluid animation. Yoda looks fucking evil in that, and that's not a bad read.
It's an accurate read.
My headcanon, my take on it is Yoda is only redeemed in the afterlife when he's like, yeah, I did everything wrong. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Which is fine. Hey,
Yoda, we forgive you.
Hey, Yoda, it's okay. Oh, you're mean to Luke once? Fuck you. I will not get over that. He's mean to Luke. He hits him with his stick.
He takes
his stick.
He takes R2's hot dog.
He makes him stinky. I want to start wrapping this up by listing the good Jedi. The Jedi I really love. The Jedi that did everything right. Qui-Gon for one. Plo Koon's another. Dave Filoni, writer of the series, his favorite Jedi is Plo Koon, and I can totally see why, because he's a great dude.
Tell me more.
Everyone treats the clones terribly. They're like expendable. They're just cannon fodder, as you would. They're no better than bots. But Plo Koon is like, no, these are my boys. We ride together, we die together.
But
there's a great episode where they're damaged in space and they're about to die, and the clones are like, "Sir, General, sir, you can leave us. We're just clones." And he's like, "Not to me, you're not." And that's beautiful. What a beautiful man.
I mean, that's attachment.
Well, so what I'm saying is that attachment is good.
So I mean, maybe we're equivocating because like Anakin says some shit where it's like love is strictly forbidden, but
We'll say it like Anakin.
Love is forbidden, but charity is a form of love. You know, he says something.
That's
I'm
pretty
not
galaxy brain.
Not charity, but he says something.
He says something like that.
Something to that effect to Padme when he's saying there's a fuck loophole.
Yeah. So we can have sex and it's totally fine because it's charity, not love.
But you're not supposed to have emotions.
But emotion is what makes you a good person.
Yeah. I mean that's
like,
our thesis. That's what we're realizing.
That is the downfall of the Plo Koon.
Plo Koon and Qui-Gon.
Plo Koon saves his own life and the lives of his entire troop because he respects them, because he loves them, you know? He and Ahsoka have a really close relationship because he's the one who found her, and he's not her mentor officially, but he has been a mentor figure to her, and they just really respect each other. Ayla Secura was Plo Koon's previous Padawan, like his full-time Padawan, and she had a really close relationship with him too, almost like a fatherly relationship with him. And she had to shut that side off of her to be a true Jedi. And it's painful, and she and Ahsoka have a moment where they're on a planet together, and she's talking about loving your master too much, like having too much emotion for your master could be dangerous. And that's unfortunate, because, you know, Ahsoka loved and respected Anakin and was betrayed by him, as everyone was, and, you know, she had to leave the Order and save the world, I guess, and save the entire galaxy, you know, so I guess actually liking your masters is a bad thing. Leads you to be an awesome hero who, you know, fights for what's right.
Right.
Luminara Unduli's great. She was done extremely dirty. After she was killed, the Empire used her body to send out like a force beacon so that they could snuff out any other Jedi who came to save her.
Whoa.
So there's a whole episode where Ezra and Kanan are like, "We sense a presence? Let's go check that out." Luminara Unduli. What? And they see her goddamn corpse. They're just using a goddamn corpse. She's been dead for 20 years.
Oh, man.
How metal of an episode is that? That's crazy. So she was done dirty. Her Padawan, Barriss Offee, she became a terrorist because she realized that the Jedi were all terrible, just like we are. And I'm not saying that she did it right, but she had the right ideas. You know, they were corrupt as shit. You know, she opened her third eye to the Jedi's corruption.
Yeah.
Who else is good? Kid Fisto is oof, what a man. He's beautiful. That's all I have to say about him. He's a good Jedi.
And of course, Luke would be the best Jedi.
Luke is the best Jedi.
I've said repeatedly he is the best because he ignored orders, but, you know, I don't think it's fair to say he defected from the Jedi. Of course, he considered himself a Jedi, like his father. I mean, Jedi was a lot looser back then. I really think George Lucas just didn't know what a Jedi was supposed to be.
Yeah, in the 70s, in the original trilogy.
I think if you asked that George Lucas, he wouldn't tell you the Jedi code of the prequels.
Yeah, that's such a hardo extra thing. That's like, it's like when you have a cake at a bakery that's just covered in sugar paste and fondant and all these sculptures on top of the cake. And, like, it's all sugar. It's too sweet to even eat. It hurts your teeth to eat. It stains your tongue. It sits like a lump in your stomach. And, like, the actual cake base isn't even good because they were focused too much on the garnish of it. It's unfortunate. It looks good, but, like, it's not tasty.
I would honestly say original trilogy Luke is our moral beacon. Like, he is the great hero.
Yeah.
He is the reason the Star Wars franchise exists.
Yeah. Like, the Star Wars franchise rests on entirely Mark Hamill's back, for sure. Like, Luke Skywalker, if it was any other hero, it would not have gone as far, for sure.
But, you know, he doesn't reach that status by being a devout Jedi, is my point.
Yeah. And half the Jedi that are cool because they're wild aliens, and they do flips and tricks, and they have, like, special staffs and stuff. Like, they have special weapons and unique things, like... They're all corrupt as shit. But at least, goddamn, they look cool. Battle of Geonosis, who even knows what that was about? But they all have cool colors on their laser sticks.
That they do.
Mace Windu's cool. I love him as, like, a force to, like, combat Anakin's internal struggles.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's a great villain for Anakin's own journey. But he is a hero in the grand story.
Because Mace Windu is a successful case of repressing your emotions. He is a boring dude.
He is by the book. He cares only about justice in the broad sense.
Uh-huh.
And goddamn does he look cool doing it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the scene where he confronts Palpatine, and Palpatine kills, like, 4 Jedi in a row. He kills Kit Fisto with no trouble. So, like,
yeah.
Bye.
There was cool lore that I'm not sure I can confirm where Mace Windu is the only one who can really combat Force lightning.
Yes, I do remember that.
Because he's really holding off Palpatine for a while.
Until Anakin comes in, like, what's going on?
Well, like, Anakin really just deceived...
Your friend Palpatine is shooting me in the face! Anakin! He's the one shooting me! As he has a gun in his hand. No, Anakin!
Anakin didn't defeat Mace Windu so much as Mace was like, Anakin, help me finish him off. What?
Yeah.
Oh, Anakin, my good friend.
Anakin,
surely...
who I trust now.
Who I suddenly trust.
Yeah. Anakin, who has known anger issues and is a problem, and notably likes Palpatine. Help me defeat him for no reason. Given to you at this moment.
Yeah.
And there's 4 Jedi lying on the floor.
Yeah.
Kit Fisto's dead.
You're a fan of Mace Windu.
I'm a fan of Mace Windu. I don't...
He's a necessary character.
I'm okay. I will say I'm a fan of every Jedi. Like, the Order is corrupt. It's not good, and the narrative does not underscore how corrupt and hypocritical they are. But the Jedi are cool as hell. All the alien designs are amazing. Kit Fisto's cool. They're all, like, humanish, yes, but, like, you believe they're aliens. They got alien parts, alien bits.
They got good alien bits.
Mace Windu's amazing.
So you like the Jedi?
The only Jedi I actually 100% hate, fully unredeemable, not even worth our time, but we spent an hour and a half talking about him. Anyway, Ki-Adi-Mundi is the worst Jedi. He has everything wrong with the Jedi. And I will stand by that.
Wow.
The rest of the Jedi can get a pass.
Plo Koon is everything right with the Jedi.
Ki-Adi-Mundi, everything wrong. On a scale of Ki-Adi-Mundi to Plo Koon, how baller are you at being a Jedi?
Yeah, I like to end these episodes by saying, do you like the Jedi?
Do I like the Jedi? Well, you start. Do you like the Jedi? How are they from your perspective?
I wholeheartedly believe the Jedi Order is an evil influence on the world. Mm-hmm. I think if people revere the Jedi, they have a very confused notion of them. Mm-hmm.
Much like the Jedi themselves.
That said, I find Star Wars the most compelling when they present the prequel Jedi as misguided
Yes.
and something to have been overcome, especially by Luke. And later, when Yoda says, "We were wrong, I'm going to burn down the Jedi Temple." I like that narrative. I was so happy Episode 8 seemed to sort out the mess of the prequels, because it was finally giving us confirmation. Yes,
It was finally saying,
that was bad. Yoda is not very wise. He's wise in the afterlife because he realized he knew nothing.
"Oh, fucked I did."
And it drives me up a wall that Rey saved the sacred Jedi texts, and that the point of the movie was that, no, the Jedi will not end. That came out of nowhere for me.
This cycle will continue.
Yeah, so pending, if they ever deal with that, I will find the Jedi a well-written piece of media. But
Pending on episode 9.
As long as we pretend that the Jedi are a decent
Heroic.
Yeah, also, the Jedi need to get out of government.
Yeah, first and foremost. Separate that church and state, please.
So I will say, I think the Jedi are a good storytelling device if we acknowledge that they sucked in the prequels.
Yeah.
Burn the texts!
Burn
Anyway,
them! Burn the texts!
that's my answer. It's a no until they burn the Jedi texts.
Yeah. Do I like the Jedi? I think there are good Jedi. I think the Jedi that are good despite being Jedi. That means they don't follow what the Order actually says. The only Jedi that are good are the ones that, don't follow the rules. They aren't bogged down by the Order, by the methodical detachment, the only good Jedi are the ones that aren't bogged down by the
letter of the law.
The letter of the law, the ones that do love. Those are the good Jedi.
Would you go as far to say that you appreciate the Jedi because they're a convincing religion, order, whatever you want to call it?
Absolutely.
In this universe, in that people can question it. They're not the ultimate authority on right and wrong.
Yeah.
They're just, people are struggling with this idea in this universe.
Absolutely, yes. In universe, narratively, meta, it's all good, but the Order itself is awful, and Ki-Adi-Mundi is the worst of them.
And I think it takes a chunk out of the love of Star Wars, because if you really look at it, you have to say, yeah, Yoda's awful.
Kind of a jackass. Yoda's kind of a bitch.
And I think we're supposed to love Yoda, so that's a failure.
We're supposed to
If
love
we're
all
supposed
of
to
them.
love Yoda.
They're all of them are the heroes. I think the only time they're not heroes is when they're saying, "No, Anakin, you can't be indoctrinated. You're too old to be indoctrinated." That's the only time they're villains. Every other time, it's we're all buddies, right? I don't like what the Jedi stand for.
Yeah, me neither. Burn the texts.
Burn the texts. Final answer. Fuck Ki-Adi-Mundi. No, wait! Don't do that!
Yeah, or not.
Or not. Hey, get him out of here.
Get him out.